not
up
far
there,
from Norton, Mass is where exactly.
That's great Norton knowledge right there. Not Norton antivirus, Harry.
No.
Not as good as our buddy John McAfee antivirus.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get to our guests because these guys know golf, Harry, and we talk golf a lot on the show. Harry Mays is our golf savant here. But we got a couple of guys who know golf, too. They are called the Tour Junkies. You know how important they are? They have their own private planes and their own wine cellars.
That's right.
That's how good they are at making selections on DraftKings daily fantasy golf action, man. We got David Barnett, who actually caddied at Augusta. They both were born in Augusta, Georgia. I believe in the Butler cabin. And then there were a couple
of conceived in the Butler cabin.
The wise men came in and brought them Titleist Pro V1s, a Cleveland drivers, and a Cleveland wedge. And then the rest is history. What's going on, guys?
Look, man, if I was conceived in the Butler cabin, I better have had a chance to play that golf course without having to be a caddy to do it.
That's David Barnett. Pat Perry.
If I were, I would be a much better golfer than I actually am. So
that is true. Yeah. Good to be on. Thanks, boys.
Well, good to see you guys. Now, you guys, everybody's doing podcasts now. Right. Obviously, you can do it. You're fun. There's a lot of, specialized sports out there. It doesn't have to be about sports, but in our business, a lot of great sports podcasts. There's a lot of great golf ones. You guys that were way ahead of the curve before we had to flatten the curve. You guys were way ahead of it, man.
Yeah, we did. We started a little over 5 years ago. Actually, me and Pat used to work together in our hometown of Augusta. And yeah, at the time there was literally 2 podcasts on anywhere that talked anything about PGA Tour fantasy golf or even golf betting. One of them was pretty good and one of them was terrible. So we just decided that, we should give it a shot. We figured out how to do it. We practiced for 12 weeks without letting anyone hear it. Our wives thought we were nuts. And
practice,
and then we
man.
released.
You talking about practice?
We talking about
we're talking about practice.
Not a game.
Not a game.
Not a game.
Practice.
We talking about practice.
That's right. Yeah. So we released our first episode like September 30th or so of 2015. So we've not missed a golf event since then. And I don't know if you know this, but there's a butt ton of golf events. So we work hard. That's how we pay for the jet.
So in other words, the entire time that you've been doing the podcast, Rory McIlroy has yet to win a major.
Oh, Harry with the low blow there.
Oh, wow.
We go back to August of 2014 for that, right?
Wow, Harry.
Yeah.
That's cold, man.
Well,
you
all
know
the
what,
young
guys?
guns came flooding in.
You and Harry have something in common. I think a lot of people have this in common. Everybody hates Bryson DeChambeau. I don't know why. What's with the Bryson DeChambeau hate?
Well, I mean, I guess I'm the one that's more noted to hate Bryson. I've hated him, though. I will say this. I was also early on the hate for Bryson. I was early in. I am not a bandwagon Bryson hater. I've hated him for a while. But now I will say this. I think he's an incredible golfer, and what he's done over the last few months is incredible, and I do think it's going to pay off, at least in the short term. I mean, I've already placed my Masters bet on him like months ago. Augusta's going to be perfect for his distance and what he's trying to do. So I think I'm not saying I won't play him in fantasy or bet on him, but, dude, I freaking hate the guy. Just watch one press conference of his.
Yeah.
One press conference, and if that's all you see, even if you don't see the fire ants and the arguments with the rules officials and all that other stuff, just watch one press conference and tell me that you like the guy.
Yelling at cameramen for showing him hitting a bad shot out of a bunker. There's a lot of reasons to hate him. But I tell you, the last time that these guys played this golf course, he was the winner.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, look, and I think, he's a favorite again this week, and it's for good reason. We've obviously seen him playing extremely well. This is a bomber's course that they're on this week. I mean, those guys definitely have an advantage here. Fairways are pretty easy to hit. So, I mean, when we're looking at players that we like, we are definitely leaning towards those guys that can just bomb it off the tee. Now, that's how it is pretty much every week. But if you get narrower fairways like we had at the PGA Championship and things like that, then you might bring in the shorter hitters. But all in all, I mean, this is a big golf course, and the long guys are going to have an advantage.
Now, Harry Mays reported a little earlier that Brooks Koepka has shut it down. Now, what's the latest? What are you guys hearing about Koepka?
He's been battling a knee injury, and it's been, Brooks is kind of weird. He'll act like it's not bothering him in one press conference and one interview, and then he'll say something about it in another. But clearly, it's bothering him. Basically, his withdrawal today actually takes him completely out of the FedEx playoff race because he's not within the top 70 that advance next week to the BMW. So he is done. I would guess he's shutting it down to prepare and rest for the U.S. Open in September, and obviously the Masters in November.
Right, yeah, he'll shut it down for the rest of the playoffs, but I would anticipate him coming back for those majors. But now, look at Tiger Woods this week. Is he figuring into any of your wagering? I would imagine you guys do a lot of top 10, top 20 type stuff. Are you sprinkling Tiger Woods, who's plus 4,500 to win in anything this week?
I mean, I actually would rather bet him outright, to be honest with you. I mean, he's got an incredible record here. Mm-hmm. So you guys will learn this about me and Pat. I am not one that likes to bet short numbers on golf because golf is the most variable sport on the freaking planet. If you've played it, a lot of things can happen. This is not like, LeBron's guaranteed a double-double just about every night, or back in the day before he was crazy. Antonio Brown would get 5 catches. That was automatic, right? Golf is so variable. Even the best players in the world can suck it up week to week. And guys like Jim Herman, who won last week, can come out of nowhere and win. So I tend to like betting the middle tier of odds or the longer numbers. And so I actually like the outright. If you were going to play Tiger, I actually like betting the outright number on Tiger at 45 to 1 this week. And if you look over at history at TPC Boston, the number one player in strokes gained total at TPC Boston all time is Tiger Woods. With 36 rounds played, he gains about 3 shots a round. So he loves this golf course. He didn't impress us at the PGA, but he does love the golf course.
Yeah, his scoring average is 68.3 in his history there, so that's pretty
sure
good.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
David Barnett, Pat Perry, they are the Tour Junkies. You'll hear them every Wednesday as we get ready for another weekend of golf, and we love to preview the big upcoming events. Our couch guy is a big daily fantasy golf degenerate over there. I mean, this guy's been hitting them. Morikawa, he got excited about that, but he did get him late, and he still made some money on that bet a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, that was a big. I got them. Morikawa, he was at plus 900. I got him on DraftKings, and then the 30% profit boost, and then there was a max bet of $50, and that was a pretty nice cash. He came in a couple strokes back from the lead, and he made that driver on 16. Obviously, is probably going to be one of his most memorable shots of his young career. But yeah, it was a good win.
All right, guys, I need some off the. Because I was talking to you guys earlier, the guys like Matt Wolff, everybody's jumping on him. Now, Harry's a big Matt Wolff guy, aren't you?
I don't like him.
You don't like Matt Wolff, Harry?
I don't like him.
What about Victor Hovland?
Harry, what's wrong with you?
What about Victor Hovland?
I like Hovland.
What about Doc Redman?
I love Doc Redman. He's a Clemson guy.
No, he's a Clemson guy.
Hey, listen, as David said, we love the long shot bets. We actually had Doc Redman live last week, going into the final round. It didn't pan out for us. But, yeah, now I like Matthew Wolff this week. I think he's a good bet. He's at 71 in some books. It just depends. But I like Hovland. I think that's a good one as well. He's a little bit long, around 50 to 60 to 1. So, I mean – David, though, loves to go really, really long. Like, he'll go with some 200 to 1 type guy. Like maybe Jim Herman, who was 500 to 1 last week.
Right.
But, I tend to stay in that shorter area. I'll tell you this, 100 to 1, Alex Noren, I think, is a fantastic play. He's been playing really good on tour this year. I think he's a good one if you want to go a little bit longer.
Harry jumps on Patrick Cantlay every week, and then he curses him out by Friday.
Harry and Paul Casey.
And Paul Casey.
God.
I'm telling you, there's nobody swinging better right now than Paul Casey, but he still won't win.
Harry, I'm glad to know I'm not the only one with that disease, because I am with you, brother.
Now have both of you guys bailed officially on Rickie Fowler like a lot of people have? I mean, he's won at this place before. He's like 70 to 1, I think. I
am really close to bailing on Rickie, and I've been hanging on to old Rickie Fowler for so long, but I'm just getting close because he's been struggling with his swing. We know his swing coach actually, and they've been working through some problems this year, and I think he started to look like he was coming around, but I still just don't have any confidence in him to win me any money, and that's what we're trying to do.
And I know Daniel Berger is another popular guy now that a lot of people are jumping all over. And it's funny
I'm a
because
big-
these are, the fan, the casual fan, doesn't know all these names. Even like people who know golf, they don't know a lot of these guys. There's a lot of new young faces on the tour, and certainly we know the DeChambeaus and the Brooks Koepkas of the world, and then the Dustin Johnsons and the Justin Thomases and those guys. But there's a lot of up-and-comers, man, and we're seeing them every weekend.
You're 100% right. I mean, this is why, again, I think gambling on golf is incredibly smart to do. If you want to bet on some sports, there's so much leverage to be had, and it is such a variable game. So these guys and these young guys, like you mentioned, Tony, they come out ready to win. They are ready. They are killers. Mm-hmm. Most of them are killers. I mean, just Morikawa doing that, in a major, these guys come out ready to go. So you can get them. I mean, some of these names like Daniel Berger, I remember betting Daniel Berger in 2016 at 150 to 1. So if you don't get them early in their career before they blow up, then you're going to be suffering, betting them at 20 to 1 from here on out. But there are so many young names in the fold right now. It's incredible.
You got to follow these guys on Twitter, too, at Tour_Junkies. At Tour_Junkies.
Why do you have an underscore in there, man? Why?
Tony, maybe you can go get a guy to go break this guy's legs. There's a guy named Mark Stein. I know his name. His name is Mark Stein.
Not the Steinlein guy who used to be at ESPN. That guy?
I don't know. He has he's still got like the goose the what is it, the Twitter egg is his profile picture. He literally has like 2 followers, me or the Tour Junkies and somebody else, but he has at Tour Junkies and he won't give it up. He tried to sell it to me a few years ago and I was like, I'm not buying a Twitter handle.
I can send a couple guys over there, a couple of Goombas that I know.
You are at Tour underscore junkies on both Twitter and Instagram, correct?
Yeah, just so we could, have some similarity there.
Right.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And the podcast is up. So you guys, we were talking earlier, they do their podcast and then they update every single day with content on the website, right?
So as the tournament goes, they constantly update it.
So on Mondays, or after the previous weekend, you guys sit down and put a show together, right, and put it up. And where can we get the podcast?
Yeah, you can get the podcast anywhere, Apple, Spotify. It's on our website as well, tourjunkies.com. We put the video version up a lot like you boys on YouTube. So you can check that out if you enjoy that. And then, tourjunkies.com throughout the week is where we write up our content. Now, I mentioned here Pat in his wine cellar. He writes an article every week called The Fantasy Golf Sommelier. And he talks about wine or alcohol in the area that we're playing in, comparing it to golfers, making picks. It's a really fun article to read. Anything we do, we try to not just give you information, but have a good time doing it.
Well, that's totally unlike what we do on this show. We only stick to stats and basic, boring sabermetrics, analytics. It's all about analytics and numbers, and all these stats that people have that nobody cares about. Except winning. Well, we want winners.
David and Pat, do you have odds on who's going to blow a fart this weekend at the TPC Boston? Because last week I think it was Koepka, and a couple weeks ago it was Ian Poulter with an epic blast.
Oh, that was epic.
Dude.
I gotta believe that that if anybody's gonna do it this week, it's gonna be Dustin Johnson, because that guy just doesn't care. I mean, he doesn't care what people think or whatever. So I got odds on DJ. I put him in like maybe 5-1.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I'll be honest, I've said this before, DJ's just barely smart enough to not crap himself. Right. So if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be DJ.
Well, how about all that protein that Bryson's ingesting?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he should never wear white pants.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
You're not getting this kind of golf talk anywhere else.
No, I mean, a white belt, fine, but not white pants with all
Yeah.
that protein, man.
Yes, our buddy on Twitch, Winged and Diddy, says, crop Dustin Johnson.
Yeah. Well, just to let you guys know how my year has gone, I mean, it's total 2020. I took Dustin Johnson at the Memorial, and he went back-to-back 80s.
80s.
Yeah. Trunk slammer.
Right after winning.
Yeah, right. He won up in Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Travelers.
Unbelievable.
Total joke.
Well, guys, this is going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of golf coming up. It's going to go all the way into December.
Oh, yeah. It never ends, Tony.
It doesn't end. It's like NASCAR. They end the season, and then 2 weeks later they're back in Daytona.
Exactly.
And the same thing. What other sports go as long as golf? Golf starts right after the new year, right?
There's
They go out to Hawaii.
There can't be one.
Yeah, there
I don't think there is.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of trunk slamming.
And you got like 6 majors coming up in the next what is it, like 8 months or something?
Right.
It's gonna be awesome. Awesome time to be a golf fan.
I want to ask you about Augusta because you guys live there, and they've never obviously seen it played at that time of the year other than the members.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that it wasn't played, what are they doing to the course? They have to be allowing members to play there, right, during all this time off, because normally, you know, they have to get it in shape the first couple of months, and they get it ready for the Masters, and then after that, you know, then the members can play. So what's going on in this time between they had it ready to play and they couldn't play, and now they got to get it ready again for the fall when it's going to be played?
Well, usually in the summer it's closed anyway because the grass surfaces they have there just can't survive the heat.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll start to open it back up in October, and members will get to play. And actually, when it's a normal tournament week in April, they let the members play almost right up until the week before.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
So, and I think there's a lot of question on how the course is going to play in the fall versus the spring. From what we hear, talking to caddies and players, they think it'll play very similar. Now, we're not going to see the azaleas and all that kind of stuff, but as far as the surface, the grass, everything else, it's going to look just as green as it always does. What really will be interesting will be the weather. I mean, if we just get cold weather that time of year, it's hit or miss. We're not going to know. So that'll be interesting to see how these guys play in the weather.
84 days, 15 hours till they tee it up.
How many seconds? Harry has a countdown clock to the Masters, believe it or not, in his phone.
Yeah.
He's got the countdown clock. That is a sickness, and I believe there's no cure for that.
There is no cure for this.
No cure.
No, there's not.
Except a box of those clear balls for $65 a dozen.
They didn't do Charles Schwartzel well. He missed the FedEx Cup playoffs.
I know he did.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, it's great to talk to you. We'll talk to you every week. FedEx Cups. Who's winning it all? Tiger Woods, you're saying, right? You're going to throw a flyer out on Tiger Woods?
No, I wouldn't say that to win the whole playoff. No, but I mean, if you want to bet him, if you want to bet him this week,
that's what I'm
if you want to bet him this week.
Harry, you like Tiger this weekend?
I'm going to throw something on him. At Tour_Junkies, and you get the podcast wherever you get podcasts, right? Like everywhere.
Nobody better on
Yeah.
on the DraftKings Daily Fantasy Golf action, yo. Guys, let me give you a roaring round of applause. I mean, you guys even sound like you're from Georgia. Do you know our Southern Bureau Chief, John Kincaid, in Atlanta? I mean, he's our Southern Bureau Chief, man.
I haven't met him. Haven't had the privilege to meet him. Yeah, we thought we'd bring on a couple Southerners to mix it up with you boys.
Damn right, man.
Get y'all saying y'all.
I love it.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's very genteel.
You know what they say? Southern belles are hell at night, man. You know what they say?
Boy, don't we know it.
We know it.
Remember that song? Where did that come from?
I forget
Moonlight Feels Right. Who did the song, Josie? Moonlight Feels Right.
We just went through
Yeah,
this.
we just discussed
we just talked this.
They play the radio on Southern stations.
Yeah.
Because Southern belles are hell at night. They say you came from Baltimore to Ole Miss.
Remember
that song? It's a great song.
It's like from 1975.
And they play that on Yacht Rock Radio on Sirius XM like every hour. That's
Starbuck.
Starbuck. That's right.
That's the name
Not
of the group.
Starbucks. Before there was Starbucks, there was Starbuck. Not JoJo Starbuck, who was married to Terry Bradshaw. And was an Olympic skating champion.
Right.
Is he the kind of knowledge we throw out on the show, man?
Tough to keep up with you boys. Hey, before we go, will you make sure you tell Linda Cohn that we said hello?
Absolutely.
And we'd like her to like adopt us and be our mom one day. I mean,
Doesn't everybody?
Me too.
Would there be a cooler mom to have than freaking Linda Cohn?
No, absolutely not.
That's a great point.
She's going to be on next hour. I'll tell her to follow the Tour Junkies, man. I think she can. She loves everybody. She's a great lady, and we love her, and we'll break down hockey with her next hour, guys. So thank you so much for coming on. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, boys. See y'all.
Let's give them a roaring round of applause there.
I like those guys.